we were just opening up our phones and like texting people. 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐿, I know her. She's hilarious. I'm like, hey, you want to be in a horror film? Yes. Jeff Garlin, met him before. Hey, you want to be in a horror film? Yes. Will Forte, you want to be in a horror film? Like all those things. The craziest cameo is John Carpenter. With the Slayer shirt, you came dressed appropriately. I love it.
Look, I'm straight up. As soon as I found out I was going to get to do this, I messaged my editor and I was like, can I please wear a Slayer t-shirt?
I hate to say it, and this is absolutely true. I was watching Slayer live at like the Wacken Festival from 2004 this morning at 5 a.m. with my coffee. Like that's how I woke up this morning. Yeah, they opened up with 𝐿𝐴𝐻. I was like, yeah.
Yes, that is amazing. Well, look, we're already talking about Slayer, so let's just go ahead and get right into Studio 666's maybe my favorite cameo, Kerry King. How did that come together? Is that through the director, BJ McDonnell?
Yeah, BJ had filmed something with Slayer before, and I think there was a casting agency that worked with us on this film, but for the most part, we were just opening up our phones and like texting people. 𝐒𝐻𝐻𝐿, I know her. She's hilarious. I'm like, hey, you want to be in a horror film? Yes. Jeff Garlin, met him before. Hey, you want to be in a horror film? Yes. Will Forte, you want to be in a horror film? Like all those things. The craziest cameo is John Carpenter. This is the craziest one of the whole film. So in the film, John Carpenter is our recording engineer that comes in to record us. But how it happened was our lighting designer guy, Dan, who's been with us for decades, he also did lights for John Carpenter when John Carpenter went out and performed his music in front of live audiences. So when we told Dan we were making a horror film, Dan says, oh my God, you should ask John Carpenter if he'll make an appearance. I'm like, dude, there's no way he's gonna do this. So I just totally cold emailed him like, hi, my name's Dave Grohl. I'm in a band called the Foo Fighters. We're making a horror film. Wondered if, I know Dan, we have a mutual friend. And then John Carpenter emails back and says, actually, you took my kid out on the road 15 years ago. His son, Daniel, he said, you took him out on the road, you treated him nice. So not only will I be in your film, but I'll also write the theme. That's how that happened. I know, insane. But Kerry, I mean, we hung out with Kerry for a couple days, and it was like, dude, I just felt, it's like a childhood dream, hanging out with the guitar player Slayer. I'm like, I don't even care what he does in the movie. I just got to hang out with him.
That is pretty amazing. So are you guys all lifelong horror fans? I mean, was this something that it was sort of a collective, like, yeah, we're all really excited about this?
Well, I think I never realized I was a horror fan until you started describing of how kids like us became horror fans through rock and roll.
Because you were big on Alice Cooper.
Yeah. And I didn't realize till you were talking, like, yeah, it was it scared my parents. It was messed up, and then you go on to, it's kind of a gateway to scarier bands when you start with Alice Cooper.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you first fall in love with music and you fall in love with the Beatles, you fall in love with the Stones, you fall in love with, and then all of a sudden you see Kiss and you're like, oh my God. Then you get the poster. And then you start like going, and that's.
Not to mention Black Sabbath.
Oh yeah. Another great example. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I think they go hand in hand for sure.
Do you have a favorite kill in the movie? I mean, even if it's yours or someone else's, like, do you have a favorite, like, that was really awesome?
In any movie?
In this one, in Studio 666.
Oh, in this one. Well, spoiler alert. I mean, there's a couple.
Sure.
I think that the chainsaw scene with Rami, like that's classic, like horror.
Excellent.
Film. That's so Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
And then Pat's exploding head, like that's that's pretty great too.
That was pretty good.
They're all pretty good, huh? They're all pretty good.
I felt like there was tons of great throwbacks to older horror movies. Are there any ones in specific that you guys like intended to kind of reference?
Mine. Mine is a direct reference to a kill from about 20 years ago on a different thing, which I'm not telling you what it is.
Sure, fair enough.
You got to figure that out.
Last question, I gotta let you guys go. Is Studio 666 is the music vibe? Is this the closest we're ever gonna get to like a Foo Fighters sort of sludge metal album, or is there a chance for that in the future?
Well, it's funny. I've already told people that I'm doing this, but in the film, there's a band called Dream Widow. That's the band that gets killed 25 years ago, and so I'm in the process now of making their Lost album, which is going to come out. And dude, it's like, if you like Slayer and you like old school Venom and you like, it's full on old school, like 80s thrash. It's rad.
Absolutely pumped. I could not be any more excited. Pat, Dave, Chris, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to chat with you. Have a great rest of your day. Studio 666 out on February 25th. I got to make sure I get that in there. Thank you guys.
Hey, buddy.
Thank you.
Later.